Naren, take as long as you like. If you were a practice owner, would you rather spend $537,000 a year or $15,000 a year on marketing? Take as long as you like.
I mean, 15,000 is a fraction, right? 30 times 1/30th of 500,000. Literally, it's like rounding error. 15,000 compared to $500,000.
Yeah, and that is just one example. And you know, to demystify this for you, what have they done? They're resigning. They've resigned from these PPO plans successfully. They're a client. They've done it under our guidance. They have enlisted your firm, Aaron, Equa, as their marketing firm.
Yes.
You have orchestrated a brilliant organic search engine optimization campaign to where they're getting more patients than they've ever gotten before from Google, as opposed from Delta. And now they're spending $15,000. This particular practice as a solo office is seeing about 35 new patients a month. 35 new patients a month. And they're spending $15,000 a year for that. And really, if you look at it comparatively, they're spending 15 instead of 537. You can do the same thing. Naren, you've been kind enough to offer a marketing strategy meeting to any of our listeners of the Less Insurance Dependence podcast. If you haven't taken advantage of that, guys, I'd encourage you to do that now. Simply go to equa.com/MSM marketing strategy. MSM stands for marketing strategy meeting. In that meeting, Lila from Equa will share with you how Equa can support your efforts to successfully resign from PPO plans and to replace Delta with Google as your source of new patients. If you haven't done that, this would be a good thing to do early in the year now to start getting those results for sure. But really, mastering marketing, the sequence on this is very important. It's important to start your marketing before you resign from the PPO plans. Because now you're going to replace any patients you might lose when you go out of network. The goal is to keep as many as we can in your practice, and we're going to keep a majority of them. But you're going to lose some. There's no way, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to lose some patients. So you want to replace those ahead of time. And you also want to replace the source of those new patients. The day you resign from any of the PPO plans is the day that PPO plan will take you off of their directory. You're no longer listed on the Aetna or Travelers or Blue Cross Blue Shield or MetLife or Delta website. So because you're no longer there, you've got to replace it with some other source. And that some other source is organic search engine optimization, where patients find you on page one when anyone in your drawing area, in your area, marketing area, is looking for a dentist. You show up on page one. A lot easier said than done because there's a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes. But I couldn't imagine practicing without the support that you provide, Naren, in terms of getting a consistent quality new patient flow for what is a very affordable investment.
Absolutely. And the marketing strategy meeting, the link again is ekwa.com/MSM. Lila would spend approximately 6 hours prior to the meeting, kind of figuring out how well you're doing when it comes to Google, when it comes to getting these patients without giving up so much money to insurance companies. So she'll literally give you a report card on like, are you doing all the things you need to do to excel here, like to really have an unfair advantage? And then she'll also give you a plan. So if you're not in that top 5% when it comes to Google, then how do you get into that top 5% so you have that unfair advantage in your community, in your city? So go to equa.com/MSM and would love to share this information with you.
I love seeing the results, Naren, in my client, but we have a lot of common clients. And I love seeing the results where we get quality new patients. And there's an added benefit when you get a patient from Google. Well, let me look at it another way. When you get a patient from the Delta website, the truth is that could be a good patient. Would you agree with me on that statement, Naren, that it's entirely possible to get a good patient from and insert whatever name of a PPO plan you'd like? Is that possible to do that?
Absolutely. I mean, people who work at Google have Delta. So, yeah. So they are pretty good people, make a lot of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
But many of those patients also arrive with baggage. And the specific baggage that I'm talking about is an insurance mindset, where they're only interested in having something done if it's covered by their insurance. as opposed to someone that is seeking out a solution for something. Maybe they don't like the appearance of their teeth and they're looking for cosmetic dentistry, and they decide, where are they going to look for cosmetic dentistry? Are they going to look on Delta for cosmetic dentists, or are they going to look on Google? They're going to look on Google.
Exactly.
And then when they see your website with your credentialing, with rave reviews about how you've helped other people have the smile of their dreams, they've already selected your office to provide them the smile of their dreams.
Right.
And they don't arrive with the baggage of, is this covered by my insurance? They're interested in a result. That's why they were on Google. And so not only do you have a massive savings, but you get a different type of patient who's more interested in the benefits of the care you provide as opposed to whether or not it's covered by their insurance. And that alone makes the project worthwhile.
You're bringing up a very good point. One of the things I noticed when practices transition to Google replacing PPO plans as their primary driver of new patients, not only do they get more new patients who are not on Delta, but they're also doing bigger cases. Like they're doing Invisalign cases, they're doing full mouth cases. So these are like $20,000, $30,000 cases.
Well, that's not a coincidence, John. That's because Equa learns what clinical areas of the practice that the practice would like to drive. Right. It might be cosmetic dentistry, it might be dental implants, it might be adult orthodontics, it could be treating TMD, TMJ. And that in turn becomes part of your strategy to support that practice by attracting people that are interested in the kind of services you provide, as opposed to just a random patient. It's now someone that's seeking it out. And it just makes so much sense. And it's so cool to see this come together in the form of massively improving your practice, massively reducing your write-offs, your adjustments, significantly increasing your bottom line. The only one that doesn't win on this is Delta. And you know what? I am not going to cry any tears about Delta on this one. Not at all. Nor will you. Well, guys, as we wrap this up today, just a reminder, go to equa.com/MSM and schedule your marketing strategy meeting. And let me thank you all. And Aaron, thank you for all you do to support this podcast. And also thank you and your team for all you do to support practices attracting quality new patients. I also want to thank all of our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you know of someone that might benefit by listening to the Less Insurance Dependence podcast, tell them about it. Tell them they can download it on iTunes or wherever their podcast of choice is. And remember, we'd like your help with answering any questions you have. So be sure to go to rid.academy/office hours and submit questions to us that we'll feature in future events, and you'll have a chance to get your specific questions answered. On that note, thank you for the privilege of your time. Naren and I look forward to connect with you on the next Less Insurance Dependence podcast.